put a little bit more emphasis on, I don't know if you want to use the word creativity or just overall offense, but I think for the first 25 plus games, they've been programmed a certain way right from training camp to get pucks in deep, keep it simple, and
North-south.
North-south. And somewhere there's got to be a little bit of a little bit more of, don't worry about it so much. Try to make a play.
Yeah.
A little bit more emphasis on trying to make a play instead of dumping and chasing and playing that old hard style, which is important, but you got to find a bit of a fine line. And I think the score was 4-2 on the second empty net goal.
It was 3-2, the final score.
5-2. Oh, sorry. Okay.
So I don't know if you remember the play, but Leafs had the puck. I think it was Matthew Nyes has a ton of room to gain the blue line.
And he dumped it?
And he dumps it.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
actually do remember that.
and it's like, this is the part where, Craig Berube and his coaching staff have to say, listen, we have possession of the puck.
Yeah.
We have a 100%.
We want to go north,
possession
but
of the
you can
puck.
still go north if you have it.
So we went from
Until someone stops
100%
you.
having the puck
Yeah.
to a 50-50 chance
Yeah.
of getting it back.
Yeah.
And we didn't get it back, and now it's back in our net.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you encourage him to hold on to the puck, gain the zone, look for a man, just take an extra step. And I think all of these guys are just like absolutely almost numb now to making plays.
Well, you get to stay in the lineup if you don't turn it over. Like, there's no onus on these guys to actually produce. It's just don't turn it over, and we'll put you back on the ice. And, yeah, it's funny because the Devils, where Sheldon Keefe, who we're going to talk to today, their offensive stats have gone up quite a bit, and the Leafs have gone down quite a bit. And, obviously, both teams needed that. Like, the Leafs needed to prioritize things differently. But this is the first time in the Matthews-Marner era the team has been under 3 goals per game offensively. It hasn't happened before, and they're down. So, looking for it a bit. Nick Robertson, one of the guys who can't score, and was healthy scratched after playing 10 minutes on Friday night. You think they're just punting on this guy? Have they seen enough?
Well,
Friday. Going to do this again?
Well, there's nothing else to say, but at least they're scratching him now.
Friday, in a long list of bad ones, was a bad one. Like, it was Friday night. I didn't think Friday night was a particularly good one for anyone. I thought the Washington Capitals looked excellent and shut everybody down. But, yeah, I mean, Robertson was not great in that game.
All right, let's go to Berube while we're on the subject of Nick Robertson.
All right.
Clip 6.
We just got to play better. That's it. I mean, we all know that. I talked to Nick today about it, and we'll figure it out. It's my job to help him and the coaching staff, and it's his job to find a way to play better hockey. He's capable of it. He's got ability, speed. He's got a good shot, and we've got to find a way to get him going.
All right. He took a little responsibility on that.
Yeah, just what you're talking about.
It's my job.
Yeah,
absolutely, it's your job. You gotta find a way for not only Nick but a lot of these guys in the bottom 6 to find different ways to get to the net.
Yeah.
So, but let me ask you this: after you've been so hardcore coaching about the defensive side of the puck and north and south and straight lines and hard hockey, like, can you reverse course? Like,
I don't think you need to reverse it.
Well, not reverse, but like massage the message a little bit?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can.
I love the point you're making about, like, I still want to be a north-south coach. I still want us to go north-south.
Yeah.
But if you can go north with it, that's allowed.
Yeah.
Like, hang on to a little bit extra. One other guy he talked about was Nyes, who, returning from his concussion, not as effective. I've become a little bit worried that Nyes is... he's so good at cleaning up after Matthews and Marner and net front and whatever. I'd still like to see him as a guy try to make some plays. He's a talented guy, and I feel like he's a little stuck in a rut.
Shoot it in the net on Saturday night.
Yeah, the one off the inside of the post.
Shoot it in the net.
That was a tough
Great
roller.
positioning.
Yeah, he's in the
You
right
got
spot.
a lot on the puck.
Bit of a roller.
I hate hockey. So frustrating.
Didn't get the bounce.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's just listen to Berube. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just touch it a little bit on Matthew Nyes. And I'm like you and many other people. There's just a lot to love about this guy and the upside. But if someone asked me, are you convinced that this guy can become a top power forward, a guy that can maybe on a good year have 40 goals, 80 points, 90 points? I'd probably say
It's a big ask. 40
I'm
goals,
75% sure that he's got enough talent, but there's sometimes I watch him and there's hockey IQ decisions that don't match up to where I think his ceiling physically could be.
You know, like I think the question for me is like, is he going to be a 30 goal, 50 point power forward who shoots it in the net sometimes and just kind of gets in the crease? Or is he a guy who can also make plays and, to your point, get to the 80 point, like, get to a point per game type of I'm not as sure. I thought that was there and I'm not as sure now.
Okay. So we're kind of on the right vibe on that. And maybe it's just more reps. Like, what is he at now? 125 career games. They say defensemen, we need to get them over 200, 250 before they really start to understand the game. Maybe
you know better than me.
Maybe Nyes just is still learning and growing.
His contract's a little cheaper
at
now,
the
at least.
NHL
108 NHL games.
108. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's a year, it's not even a year and a half in the NHL.
No, and he's just 22, right? He turned that month and a bit ago.
So maybe it's just a matter of still getting him more comfortable at the NHL level. He's out of college, guys. He's just, remember, it's out of college. The things that he did or he could get away with, including going through the neutral zone 1,000 miles an hour and you never got run over like he did earlier this year. Those are all kind of learning experiences at the NHL level.
Yeah. So let's listen to Craig Berube's thoughts. Clip 5 on Nyes.
I thought he got better as the game went along, to be honest with you. I think, coming back from his injury, he's been okay, a little tentative, I think. But I thought tonight he kind of broke through that a little bit. Had some opportunities and was physical again, so it was good to see that.
Yeah, it's interesting you use tentative.
Yeah. I see the same stuff. Don't you? Since he came back?
Yeah.
Like he was early in the year he was
bullying people.
Hammering guys.
Yeah.
And just didn't continue to do that.
Can I add one more name to the tentative?
Matthews.
You couldn't get that out fast enough.
Oh, it's
like
sticking out.
What is going on here?
I don't know. I want to give the benefit of the doubt with the injury and ramping stuff up and that he's not still hurt or he's not, since the start of this season and even in training camp, he hasn't been the same guy, flat out. So I'm not sure.
I feel like he's swooping. Like I just don't see the same stops and starts. It's a lot of.
I don't see any jump with him. And
it's a high bar for him.
I have him at 70-75% max.
Yeah.
He's out there. I'm watching him out there. It's like he's towing a boat.
I don't see it.
He's moving like my
There-
86 Volvo in high school.
There is no Matthews peak when he's skating out there.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't think he's close to himself. And I mean, you got to think that it's related to a trip overseas.
Ton of hockey this month too. Like it's going to be quite the ass.
His first. I mean, they talked to Berube today, and he talked. We'll go here, but he talked to Berube today. I couldn't use the audio because it sounded like they're in an old timey jail, drips and people banging on stuff. So we didn't play the audio. But he said that he's his first back to back, and he thinks his legs are getting better and all that stuff.
Okay,
but how many games has he played here now? I mean. You'd like to see some vintage Matthews here.
He's seeing what we're seeing.
For sure.
Okay.
How could you not?
Yeah.
And I think
producing for now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. But anyways, we should break to go to
Okay,
Sheldon.
let's take a quick break. When we return, Sheldon Keefe, head coach of the New Jersey Devils, on deck as his Devils will entertain the Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow night, 7 p.m. More with Sheldon after the break.
The Toronto Maple Leafs may be taking a new approach to salary management, which could directly impact Mitch Marner's contract negotiations. During Kyle Dubas' tenure as general manager, the team didn't hesitate to spend heavily, and this trend began with a 6-year extension signed by Marner in 2019. At the time, Marner's $10.9 million annual cap hit set the market for superstar wingers, surpassing comparable players like Mikko Rantanen of the Colorado Avalanche, who signed a 6-year deal with a $9.25 million annual cap hit. Now, however, times seem to be changing. TSN's Pierre LeBrun recently reported that the Maple Leafs have implemented an internal salary cap, aiming to ensure no player earns more than captain Austin Matthews, who signed a 4-year extension worth $13.25 million per season in August 2023. The team's primary concern revolves around Marner's agent, Darren Ferris, who, according to LeBrun, might push for a percentage of the total salary cap instead of a fixed dollar amount. This could result in Marner's cap hit exceeding Matthews' $13.25 million, conflicting with the Leafs' new financial strategy. Ferris is known for driving negotiations to the limit, often taking his clients to free agency. This raises fears that discussions between Marner and the Leafs could drag on until July 1st, giving Marner and his camp all the leverage in negotiations. Another complicating factor is the rising market. LeBrun noted that Mikko Rantanen believes he could secure $14 million per season as a free agent. This sparks the question, could Marner demand even more? And would Ferris take that gamble, knowing the Leafs might opt to move on and sign another player? Marner has made it clear on multiple occasions that Toronto is where he wants to be. As a local player with deep ties to the city, he's expressed his desire to spend his entire career wearing the blue and white of the Leafs. However, staying with the team may require him to accept less than market value, especially if the front office remains committed to its new salary structure. Such a sacrifice could be vital for the team's collective success and to avoid financial issues that have plagued the recent past. While negotiations are still in the early stages, it's evident that Marner's future with the Leafs is at stake. Maple Leafs fans may need to prepare for the possibility of significant changes, but they can also trust in the player's commitment to the city and the franchise to find a compromise. The Maple Leafs' decision to implement an internal salary cap reflects a broader shift in their team-building philosophy. After years of prioritizing top-end talent with hefty contracts, the organization appears determined to strike a balance between superstar contracts and depth throughout the roster. This strategy aims to avoid the pitfalls of past seasons, where a lack of financial flexibility often left the team vulnerable in critical playoff moments. For Mitch Marner, this shift creates a unique challenge. On one hand, his value to the Leafs is undeniable. A consistent top scorer and elite playmaker, Marner has been instrumental in driving the team's offense. On the other hand, his ability to command a salary that rivals or exceeds Austin Matthews could put the Leafs in a difficult position, especially with a potential need to strengthen other areas of the roster. As the 2023-24 season progresses, the Leafs must weigh the potential consequences of sticking to their cap philosophy. Losing a homegrown talent like Marner would undoubtedly sting for fans and the organization alike. However, allowing one player to dictate financial terms beyond the team's structure could hinder long-term success and force painful sacrifices elsewhere. Adding to the complexity is the looming free agency of William Nylander. If the Leafs are to stick to their internal salary cap, they may also face challenges in retaining Nylander, who could command a significant raise. Balancing contracts for both Marner and Nylander within the new framework could prove to be the ultimate test for Toronto's management team. Another factor at play is the team's ultimate goal, winning the Stanley Cup. While star players like Marner and Matthews are crucial, history has shown that depth and balanced rosters often prevail in the postseason. If the Leafs fail to manage their finances effectively, they risk falling short of building a championship-caliber team, even with elite talent. For Marner, the decision to stay with the Leafs might come down to more than just dollars. His connection to the city, the fans, and his teammates could be deciding factors. If he prioritizes legacy and loyalty over maximizing earnings, there's a strong possibility that he'll work with the team to find a deal that benefits both parties. Negotiations will also test Darren Ferris, known for his hardline tactics in securing lucrative deals for his clients. While pushing for top dollar is expected, Ferris may need to weigh the risks of alienating the Leafs management and fanbase. A prolonged stalemate could damage Marner's relationship with the team and its supporters. The Leafs management, led by general manager Brad Treliving, faces a pivotal moment. Treliving's reputation as a negotiator and team builder will be on full display as he navigates this high-stakes scenario. Striking the right balance could solidify his tenure in Toronto, while a misstep might set the team back for years. For Maple Leafs fans, the coming months will be filled with anticipation and uncertainty.